A guy came out from behind the stairs. We have a cubby hole that's behind it, and he came out from there, and he attacked me and slammed my head into the wall.
For every tree limb, though, the city picks up and gets rid of, they say it's like $1 more that they're losing out of their already stretched budget.
Kim Scroggins actually got tons of volunteer help to move her trailer out of the way of the water, but with all of this, it just didn't make a difference.
For many, it was hard to find the words to describe it.
Looks like something that was just total disaster, like in a movie or something. I couldn't believe it when I first seen it.
At 12:20 Monday afternoon, 101 Main Street, the home of a Merle Norman store, crumbled to the ground.
Part of it, the roof went down for maybe a foot, and then it just exploded, and glass and brick and smoke. It was horrible.
Witnesses tell us they saw a woman and her child on the sidewalk, immediately buried by debris.
You see where the ladder is?
Yep.
Okay, now I want you to go 3 feet this way.
Okay.
And it's like a stack.
Oh, I see
thick.
it.
That right there's the gap
And
underneath.
it fell on them?
That was the frame.
With a crowd of others, Brian Matthews ran into the rubble to rescue the woman and her child.
She said that my baby is with me. My baby is with me. And once we got the beam from the side of her and we got her up onto the hard board that the paramedics bought, she said my baby is right by me.
The Morrilton chief of police did confirm a child died in that collapse. Staring at the pile of debris, Matthews said the child he saw in the rubble did not look good.
It could have been anybody. It could have been any of us.
Mike Crowell has lived in Morrilton for 56 years, all his life.
I know the people who own the buildings, and it's just like family, being so close to everybody.
Like the others we spoke to, Crowell practically shook as he talked, keeping his eye on the destruction, but knowing this community could rise up once again.
These people will bounce back. I know they'll bounce back. They'll bounce back stronger.
I mainly stuck to marijuana and hallucinogenics, but I've done cocaine. I've done a lot of pills.
Sounds like a lot, but that's not what landed 18-year-old Kylan Hotz in front of a judge. It was drinking. He faced Garland County Judge David Schweitzer for DWI charges, but this time would be different.
It's shown me that, I can't, do like some other people can. Like, I can't just have a beer or two. I'm going to be the one, drinking as much as I can get.
The DWI court helped Kylan realize this. Garland County has one of 3 DWI courts in the state, and since 2008 has seen over 2,500 people. When Kylan was 15, he was arrested for DUI. Judge Schweitzer noticed a trend of young as well as repeat offenders and decided they needed change.
The reason is to make a difference. To make a difference not only in the defendants' lives, but to make a difference in our lives, to make our community better.
This involves not just giving the accused jail time and a fine, but actually holding them accountable and making them complete rehab. This is the Kim Free House. It's a place where people like Kylan get to go to for a second chance. It's a part of their rehab program. It keeps them out of jail, and it saves the taxpayers money because they actually have to pay $100 a week in order to live here. Like anything, this doesn't work for everyone, but for some, it is a chance for them to clean up their act. Probation officer Christopher Carney says those that don't have this opportunity are facing a disadvantage.
Somebody who wants to make the change and doesn't have this opportunity, I feel sorry for them because they're going to get stuck in the system.
Kylan didn't get stuck in the system and is one of the many success stories. He's taken his second chance to do good by helping the homeless at Hot Springs Jackson House.
It gets you out of yourself, and that's what it was about. I've been in my head, for 19 years. So about time, I thought about somebody else.
Kylan says the only way this works is if you want to make the change, and this is the structure needed to do that. In Hot Springs, Bakari Savage, KARK 4 News.
Are we gonna do what they say can't be done?
Break 19.
We've got a long way to go, and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound, just watch our band and run.
The highway's call, for some, hard to ignore. A love of the road, a way of life. But it's a rough and rumbling way, demanding, difficult, dangerous, described as a job for drifters, good men looking to make a living. And in nearly every truck cab, it's been just a man and maybe his dog.
This is my life. This is what I do. So I'm geared for it.
That is, unless the person behind the wheel is among the less than 7% of drivers who are women, also living their lives on the road.
Okay, I'm gonna go this way.
Raina White has been driving semis for over 20 years. She's a great-grandmother now, but she did it then simply because she needed work.
Money was good, so 5 years turned into 20.
A self-described loner, when she drives, she doesn't like to talk. A steady eye on the road, her small hand steady too. She loves this job, but her work here is hard, physically and mentally. This man's world, intimidating often, sometimes terrifying.
To them, it's like a meat market out here.
Raina's CB stays off. The talk, too vulgar. She knows women who have been assaulted and raped at truck stops. When she walks through these rows, she always watches her back, her tire iron, her only weapon.
I'm not comfortable being out there like that, surrounded by all these men.
And they will see that you're a woman and they're blowing kisses at you.
Linda Hardy, too, has been harassed on the highway, but her security, fellow driver, and husband, Jeff.
She's every bit as capable of doing that in this truck as I am or any other man truck driver out here. Is it harder for her? Sure it is.
The Hardys are two of an increasing number of husband and wife teams on the road. Linda wouldn't have it any other way. Side by side, or with one in the sleeper berth, they tackle the traffic, the stress of an unstable life.
Wonder where we're going. Laredo?
Luckily, they get along. It's the other comforts of home Linda misses most.
And here is my supper.
Living out of a cab, greasy food, and showers at truck stops. Little room here for luxuries.
You bring your face wipes with you, and you wipe your face, and you know, use your lotion, brush your teeth. I mean, I have my little ritual I do every night, but still you don't sometimes feel as feminine.
It's family time too, these women pine for, the missed moments with their children and grandchildren.
And they're my hearts. They are my hearts. They love it when I come home. When Wednesday roll around, they're calling me, Grandmama, are you coming home? So yeah, that's hard. It is.
These sacrifices they signed up for. Unique dangers, they did not. That's why, with recognition rare, a small gesture is cherished.
This older man, truck driver, nice man, had his cap on, you know, and we were meeting each other. He tips his hat and goes, "Good morning, driver." And I felt like I belonged because he called me driver.
It's on drivers like these we rely, our safety in their hands, our livelihoods delivered to us every day. But on the road, these women do more, blazing a trail, refusing to be told to take the back seat.
I want to be respected. Yes, not only by my fellow drivers, but by America in general.
You already start sweating, you're already dehydrated.
Frequent water breaks are a must for these road crews on the interstate. Dressed in heavy boots and blue jeans, they say more clothing actually keeps them cooler.
It actually helps, you know, the more body you're covered, the less the sun hits it, you know. So I see a lot of the guys wearing the long sleeve shirts.
Working with concrete like these guys are doing in this kind of heat is extremely difficult. In fact, some crews are actually adding ice to their concrete to give them more time to work with it before it sets, but not these crews. In fact, you can tell they're having to work very fast.
In a nearby West Little Rock neighborhood, a total home renovation is underway. The crew admits work slows for them in heat like this. Over the years, they've seen how dangerous it can be.
I had 3 people we had to take to the hospital. The heat gets to them. Once they quit sweating, then you got problems.
There's always pressure to keep construction projects on schedule, even in the dog days of summer. But safety takes priority.
I'd rather delay a project a day than hurt a guy, right? So we're always going to keep our guys safe and make sure they're taken care of.
With signs like this popping up in so many areas around the region, even still, volunteer help in many cases is literally the only thing that's helping to hold back the floodwaters and a flood of tears. From the front window of Ms. Lena's famous Duval's Bluff Pie Shop, looks like nothing's wrong. Yeah. It seems like an ordinary Thursday, the kind that would find owner Vivian Barnhill busy in the kitchen. But a look out the back door shows what shattered her heart. Her daughter's home on the brink of ruin. Mother Nature's laid out a watery welcome mat made out of the White River.
It's like in just about an inch now, and as long as it doesn't rise anymore, I may be able to come back home.
Her biggest hope for that is for her kids, Jake and Grayson. They have no safety net if the water rises.
About 2 years ago, it was either feed my kids or pay my insurance, and I can't let my kids starve.
She's very grateful for the volunteers who tried to lift the tongue of her trailer out of all of this with a backhoe.
But it wouldn't budge.
At the levee downtown and at the free cafeteria set up for the flood-weary, volunteers are having better success. Some of the victories may seem small. A plate of food, a cold drink. But in the conditions here and across Prairie County, they're monumental to many.
When something like this happens in a community, everybody wants to come together and help.
The response from the volunteers has been excellent. Nobody's giving up. The stamina of people is just tremendous.
Something good to cling to when normalcy is being washed away.
It's just sad. It just breaks my heart.
The swollen White River isn't expected to shrink back down to its normal size for another 2 to 3 weeks. Reporting in Prairie County, Shannon Reed.mov, KRK 4 News.